Hello everyone, welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. My name is Beck and I went to Hong Kong a couple of weeks ago now, I think. It's a couple of days after my vacation. My main reason for going to Hong Kong was to buy stuff, mainly makeup and video games. Unfortunately, by the time I got there, I was under the assumption that they might stock Western games because they used to, but now not all of them do. To give a little background of where to get video games from in Hong Kong, I go to Mong Kok a lot, which is Wonggok in Cantonese if you're wondering, and it's a little bit different from buying video games in the West. In the West, like for example Australia, you have EB Games, or in America you have Best Buys, and you know where there's like electronics or gaming stores specifically catering to video games or video games accessories, whatnot. But in Asia, it's kind of like individual vendors or shop, kind of like an eBay store, but in person, where everybody has their own stock, but they get it from the official Nintendo department there. It's really hard for me to explain. I'm pretty sure there might be, but for the most part, if you want a good deal, it's legitimate, by the way, it is. You can tell there's official documents and stuff like that. But it's kind of hard if you are a foreigner, you go into those places to find video games. You might have to do a little bit more research. My uncle is also really into video games, and he's born and raised in Hong Kong, and he's also kind of like a cheapskate, stingy kind of person like me, so he knows the best place to get it. And I went by his advice and I went to the store he recommended. Unfortunately, on the day that I went there, it was closed on both days that I went there, so I had to go to the store across it, and it worked out fine because apparently it cost the same, but I think the store he recommended me had Western copies, and this one that I was forced to go to only had like Japanese copies of the games or Chinese copies, which is usually either Hong Kong editions or Taiwanese editions. They're not cheaper for American people, I think. They're more cheaper for people like me from Australia who pays like astronomically more for stuff, or if you're Canadian, we suffer the same fate because our currency is about the same. I'm sure you can find some cheap finds if you're from America. Maybe currency is a little bit higher, so when you do your conversions, it might be a better deal for you if you go there. Japanese editions and the artwork for everything, it just looks so much better than the Western copies. I don't understand why they have to change it so drastically for the Western copies. It's more complex and it's a little bit more fancy for the Japanese edition, while the West is like a little bit more simple and at most times a bit dull, in my personal opinion. Sorry if this is kind of lengthy, but it's kind of like a little information if you ever decide to go to Hong Kong and buy video games. It's gonna be cheaper, but it's a little bit more complicated. They also sell like Chinese versions and Japanese versions. If you choose to buy the Japanese versions, which is essentially the same game, they will give you two different prices. The Chinese version is usually $10 cheaper. You're probably wondering what's the difference. It's basically, if you want the $10 cheaper version, you get the Chinese box art. If you pay $10 more, you get the Japanese box art. And to me, I don't really care as long as the game works. If I wanted a fancy box art, I have a friend who does Nintendo Switch covers, and I'm pretty sure she also does PS4, so if I ever wanted a cover change that looks even better, I can just ask her to do it for me, and I'm happy to pay her. So I'm not gonna pay $10 just for the sake of getting the Japanese cover. Okay, it's the same thing. I finally got the Pro Controller. I've been wanting this for a very long time. Where's the box? I've wanted the Pro Controller for the longest time ever. If you ever wanted to know what it kind of looks like to see if it's authentic or not, it has to have the sticker on it. Applied in Hong Kong by and certified by Nintendo. If you're wondering why I'm covering that, it's because it's a QR code. This is supplied from Japan, Nintendo Japan I think, and given the permission to sell in Hong Kong. Basically just a typical Pro Controller, but I chose the Splatoon one because I think the normal black one was $8 cheaper, and I wanted a colorful one. I know there's decals for, I haven't spoken English in a month, so excuse my English. If you don't like the existing Pro Controller designs, I'm a little bit iffy about the Splatoon one, but out of the black or this one, I choose this one. I think I really want the Smash the most, but it's not out yet and a little bit pricey for me. Would have chosen Xenoblade Chronicles over this one, but this was the only one aside from the black one. No, as long as it has some color on it, I'm okay. So I paid like $8 more. I think it was 80 something Australian dollars, which is slightly cheaper in Australia, slightly cheaper than buying it here, at least when it's not on sale. I'm having a hard time using it because I have these goddamn nails, but when these grow out and I cut them, I can finally like fully enjoy this. Let me show you what I was playing. I was playing Taiko. I got it at the store. After conversion, it was 60 Australian dollars. If I had bought the Japanese copy, it would have been $2 more. Yeah, it would have been 62 for the Japanese edition. The only difference is probably that line. This line is in complete Chinese, and this character is actually Japanese. That's the name logo, so the only difference would have been this line. Everything else, including the back, is exactly the same. Why would you pay $2 more for the sake of one line? I'll show you the cartridge. Once you plug it in, if you set your switch to, like for me, I set it to Australian region, it patched to English, so it didn't really matter if you bought the Chinese version or the Japanese version. Depending on your switch, it will patch accordingly. It's just a box. Okay, on the cartridge here, it says JPN, which is the Japanese version, so it's basically the box. Why would you pay extra for the box? I don't get it. I understand why they have the concept of charging you like 10 Hong Kong dollars more for the sake of a box art for one line. Like, that makes no sense. It's nothing drastic. If the game inside is exactly the same, why would you pay more? But I understand some people would. They don't like the association of buying like a Chinese copy of something. They prefer the Japanese. See, it says Chinese on here. It's like 中文, which is Chinese. I was gonna buy the drum, but I justify buying this and then buying the taiko drum, which is roughly about the same price. I was like, do I really need it? Because you can play it on here, and I don't really physically need a drum. I've already given up on the opportunity last year when this came out, and I was going to buy the drum for this, but I didn't have enough luggage space. I also couldn't really justify the price, but I finally got the game at least. This is once again the Chinese version for the box art, so I paid $2 less because I'm a cheapskate, and I don't really understand why. It has Persona, it has the Persona 5 in the moment because I plugged it in my PS4 to play it, and the moment I plugged it in, it patched to English, so I don't know what's happening. It just turned into English. I do have Australian setting on my PS4, so I was fine with getting the Chinese editions for these things because I can read it. But the fact that it patched to English, I'm not gonna go out of my way to change it. I didn't know. Had I known there was an opportunity that if I bought these games that it will patch to English, I would have bought way more. But this game, I went back the second day to get it with this one. If you watched my other videos, we would have seen me pick up talk about this game. Like I said earlier in the video, most of the games were in Japanese edition, and I was kind of scared because I wouldn't be able to enjoy something if it's completely in Japanese. When I first went on the first day, I knew that there was going to be an English patch for this because a lot of people were complaining on Instagram that it instantly changed back to English. Even though it was in Japanese before, it just automatically like patched it. So I was confident enough to get this in whatever version it was. So I got these two in the first day. But then my heart couldn't like accept the fact that I only went out of my way to go to search for this store, and I only bought 2 items. Like, I felt really annoyed. Decided to go back the second day just to pick up at least one more PS Vita game now that I know my way. And you know what? I just picked this up as well. And this one, it was sitting there in the window. It was the cheapest. I think there was cheaper PS Vita games, but I wasn't too sure. I've seen the anime of this one before a long time ago, and I was like, you know what? It's about 30 something dollars, like $31, $32. I'm gonna pick it up. And then I later on checked on a couple of websites. It was like over $100, which if I paid $100 for this, I'll be really mad. Just saying, because I can't understand what's going on. But for the most part, I really enjoy it. I just need to walk through and Google Translate to play it. I've spoken about this in my monthly favorites in length, so if you want to know more about it, click on it. Videos that I have linked down below, or the eye thing will pop up and you can see it there. Yeah, that's all the games that I picked up when I was in Hong Kong. I wanted to buy more, but I wasn't sure. Now that I think about it, I could have bought the Little Dragon Cafe and it would have patched to English. But you know what? I'll get it if it ever goes on sale during whatever season, during Black Friday, during Christmas. I don't know. I'm hoping that it will drop in price and I'll get it. Because there was a couple of games I really wanted, and I was like really hoping to go to Hong Kong to get it for a cheaper price, but everything was the Japanese version. But now that I know that for some reason this one got patched into English the moment I plugged it in, and I was just like, I should have bought it. But you know what? I'm glad I actually went back the next day to get these two, or else I would be like eternally sad. But I would have been fine with just picking up a Pro Controller and this, but kind of glad I went back the next day to get those out of two, or else I would have been a little bit more mad. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know it's a little bit like rambly all over the place, but most of my videos are. But if I'm a little bit more extra restless today, it's because I haven't filmed in a while, and I'm filming 2 videos back to back, and I'm kind of like all over the place. I'm not sure if I want to film a third one. Please let me know what you guys have been up to, what kind of games you've been playing. Now that I know that it can patch the English, I will buy more next time when I'm in Hong Kong. But I don't know when I'll be going. And do you have any game recommendations you'd like to tell me about? Leave it down below. Please give me a like, comment, and sub. Hit the bell if you want to get notifications from me. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye!